So, my biggest memory about this movie is everyone saying that this movie was way better in 3D. So I thought there would be different ratings for the 3D version in Jaws 3. Like, currently Jaws 3 has a tomato meter of 13%. So I thought, because everyone said that it was way better in 3D, I thought that Jaws 3D would have a tomato meter of like 65% because 3D looked cool? I don't know. Jaws 3D. So Jaws 3 was directed by Joe Alves, who has done work on the previous Jaws installments, and tells a story about Brody's son Mike now working at SeaWorld, and the shark just might be in there with them as well. What are my thoughts on this movie? Let's find out. Hello there, I'm the Happy Stormtrooper Face. I upload movie reviews, Star Wars talks, and skits. Not just that, my reviews are a Stormtrooper's thoughts on film. For more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Before we get started, please just remember that this is just my opinion. My opinion isn't the right opinion, it's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. As well as tell me down below your thoughts on this movie. Without further ado, let's get started. Oh boy. So one of the most disappointing aspects about this film is the concept of the story isn't terrible. It could be an enjoyable premise. It could be fun. A shark gets into a lagoon. The way they translated it into a film was kind of... First off, from a visual standpoint, I find that this movie is inconsistent. You have these terrific and realistic stock and National Geographic footage. Then a second later you get this. And this. It makes the animatronics and the effects feel more noticeable. It makes this film's VFX feel more inconsistent. I find the visuals in this movie could feel like a sticker put on a background, with stop motion as well. I find it's disappointing that the most awe-inspiring and best shark shots in this movie isn't created by the movie, but by stock footage. Also, some of the scenes in this movie feel strange because many scenes are noticeably ad-libbed. Some scenes where people's mouths aren't moving has dialogue, like this scene.
The center. I sure hope this was worth it.
It could feel a bit strange. Overall, the biggest flaw for me in this movie is that the movie focuses too much on the shark attacks rather than the depth behind it. There are many scenes in this movie that last long. Like the opening scene, we have like a 15-second scene of that fish. That is supposed to look cool in 3D. Behind that, there isn't much depth for me. I find these characters in this movie don't get enough depth or backstory. I think we should have explored these characters more, to make it feel more character and emotional driven, to make some of the more impactful themes more, well, impactful. Bess Armstrong's character loves dolphins, but why exactly? Same with some of the couples. Some characters have couples, but I find their relationships should have been explored more to make some of the deaths more impactful. If we saw the rise of their friendship, that would make the story more impactful and give the people whose couple dies more motivation. Because when you see the rise and fall of the friendship, well, it creates more emotion. Anyway, sadly I was very disappointed with Jaws 3D. I'm gonna give Jaws 3D an F.
Soundtrack worthy.
This soundtrack was composed by Alan Parker. To be honest, I probably had the most love-hate relationship with this soundtrack. I loved the first two soundtracks. John Williams did a fantastic job, in my opinion. The only problem I had with the Jaws 2 soundtrack was when you thought the main theme was gonna play, well, it didn't. Just kidding, the soundtrack was actually pretty good in my opinion. It had some good new themes and some decent action cues. I do find the soundtrack should have been more diverse though. Overall, I'm gonna give this soundtrack an 8 out of 10.